Hello, dear colleagues. My name is Al Muhammad. Today we have a high-grade intracranial stenosis of the right ICA, which we've treated with PTA and stenting. It was a 50-year-old male patient, heavy smoker, and has a severe atherosclerosis. He has a chronic occlusion of the left ICA and came with a high-grade intracranial stenosis of the right ICA in the terminal segment. He has fluctuating symptoms for the past 3 weeks in a form of hyposthesia on the left body side. And for the past 1 week, he has many episodes of a left-sided hemiparesis. And in the CT, he has watershed infarctions on the right side. And this is the diffusion sequence, and you can see this watershed infarctions on the right side. And in the CT angiogram, he has this high-grade stenosis of the right ICA in the terminal segment, and as you can see, the left ICA was occluded chronically. In the time to drain, we can see on both sides high-grade perfusion deficits because the left ICA is occluded and the right one is high-grade stenotic. And here we have the 3D angiogram, and as you can see, there is a very good contrast before the stenosis and a poor contrast after the stenosis, indicating a hemodynamic relevant stenosis. And here you can see this high-grade stenosis of the ICA. And here we have the CT after the intervention, and as you can see, there is no hemorrhage, no increase of the infarction, and here you can see the implanted stent. And here we have the list of the materials and devices that we've used. We've used a PTA balloon catheter Neurospeed 3 by 8 mm, and the microstent was Credo Heal 4 by 20 mm with a thrombogenicity reductive coating. The patient was prepared with a dual antiplatelet therapy with aspirin and ticagrelor tested with Verify Now, which showed an effective platelet inhibition. And here we go. We pushed the long sheath neuron max with a select catheter in the aorta and then in the origin of the right common carotid artery. Then we pushed the guiding wire in the ICA and then the selective catheter, followed by the neuron max long sheath. And now we pull back the selective catheter with the guiding wire and take our distal access catheter, Sophia 5F, 125 centimeters, flush it and insert it in the long sheath neuron max. And now we can navigate the distal parts of the ICA. And now we need an overview to see the anatomy. And here you can see the stenosis of the ICA in the intracranial terminal parts and a very slow blood flow in the arteries after the stenosis. And as you can see, it takes a lot of time to get to the venous phase. And in the case of such severe stenoses, we do by standard a 3D angiogram of the brain to see the anatomy well and to see the free way through the stenosis, not to injure the plaques. And you can see the stenosis here. It's a very high-grade stenosis. And now we can adjust our working position according to the 3D angiogram, inject a little bit contrast agent and focus on the stenosis and take the maximal zoom. And now we can do a 2D angiogram, and now we can see the free way through the stenosis. And meanwhile, my colleague has prepared the PTA microcatheter Neurospeed 3 by 8 mm and already inserted the microwire in the PTA balloon catheter. We take them both and insert them in the intermediate catheter, and we take our 2D angiogram as a roadmap. And now we can start navigating the stenosis. This is our microwire. We push it a little bit distally and followed by the balloon catheter, and then we bring our distal access catheter a little bit distally, and now we can push the microwire through the stenosis in the right MCA, and now we can push our balloon catheter, and now the balloon has reached the stenosis. And just for orientation, we have here the microwire, And here we have the tip of the balloon catheter, and here we have the balloon itself in green, and in orange we have the tip of the distal access catheter. And as you can see, the balloon is in the middle of the stenosis. And now we can take the inflator and attach it to our system and start the PTA. And as you can see, this is the balloon, and now we're cracking the stenosis. It's done. We wait a little bit, and then we can deflate our balloon. And this is our balloon, and it has opened very well. And now we pull back the micro wire and take the microstent credo heel 4 by 20 millimeters with a thrombogenicity reductive coating named heel. We flush it with saline and push it inside the balloon microcatheter. And now we've reached the stenosis. And again, just for orientation, this is the stent pusher, and this is the distal end of the stent, this is the proximal end of the stent, and this dark part of the stent has the most radial force, and here we have the balloon. And now we can start implanting the stent. This is the distal end of the stent, it's opened, and now this is the proximal end. The stent has opened completely. And now we can remove the stent pusher with the balloon microcatheter. And here we have the implantation in both projections. We pull back the balloon microcatheter. And now we have reached the distal end of the stent, and now the proximal end of the stent. And then we can remove the pusher of the stent with the balloon microcatheter. And so we have finished the stent implantation, and now we remove the balloon microcatheter with the pusher of the stent out of the intermediate catheter. And now we can perform a 2D angiogram, and as you can see, it's a very good result. And here on the left side we have the stenosis before the treatment, and on the right side after the treatment, I would say it's completely gone. And now we need an overview to exclude complications. And as you can see, we have a way much better perfusion of the brain, and the stenosis is gone. And so we've reached the end of our intervention. As always, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below. You can contact us per email to email addresses, and further contact options are in the video description below. Thanks for watching. That was Al Muhammad. See you next time. Peace out.